Awesome. Okay, so I am Rachel L. Proctor. See both. Okay. I am Rachel L. Proctor, and I'm so glad and so honored that you all are joining me for this masterclass on how to grow your audience without using paid ads. And I don't know what that is on my screen. Let me see. I don't know what that yellow stuff is on my screen. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. We won't worry about it. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into this masterclass. And so many of you have probably jumped on this free masterclass because you are in a place to where you're trying to grow your presence specifically on Instagram. And so I'm going to be talking to you about how to grow your audience without using paid ads. And again, who am I? Well, I am Rachel L. Proctor. Many of you may follow me on Instagram or any other outlets. I'm a virtual business mentor, a serial entrepreneur, an online educator, a minister, and I am the Chief Encouragement Officer, the self-proclaimed Chief Encouragement Officer over on Instagram. And so I wanted to share with you a few things today in this masterclass. And so some of the things we're going to actually cover in this particular class is I'm going to show you how to write a eye-catching Instagram bio that positions you as the go-to expert in your industry. Also, I'm going to show you some simple tweaks that you can make to your Instagram profile that's going to stop curious browsers in their tracks, as well as turn them into customers for life. Also, I'm going to show you how to create a quick and easy content plan to keep your audience engaged and wanting more from you. Also, I'm going to teach you a little known hashtag strategy that you can use to grow your followers and grow your business, because sometimes hashtags can be very confusing. So I'm going to show you some strategies that you can use to use hashtags, as well as I'm going to show you a secret hack. Hopefully we'll be able to get to it. A secret hack that nobody's talking about to help you to be able to get the swipe up feature on your Instagram stories without having to have 10,000 followers. So many of you may be aware that if you don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram, you have to, you don't have that swipe up feature to where you can share links and things like that. So many of you are probably trying to grow your businesses, and having that swipe up feature would be very, very valuable to have in your business. So I'm going to show you a way that you can kind of work around it in order to be able to kind of get that swipe up feature. Now, what we will not be talking about today, we're not going to be discussing the follow, unfollow method, or buying Instagram followers, or buying likes, or automated bots, or any of that stuff, or how to become an overnight sensation on Instagram. That will not be anything that we will cover today or ever if you watch any of my classes. So I want to be able to show you ways that you can actually use real, authentic, and organic ways to grow your Instagram following, as well as not even just your Instagram following, but to grow your business as a result of growing your Instagram following, because there are real customers out there on Instagram. And I'm going to show you how to position your Instagram account to be an account that will attract the targeted followers that you need to turn them into followers and into customers. And again, any of those methods like the follow, unfollow, all that stuff, number one, those are outdated methods, and they put your account at risk to be shut down. So you don't want to use, again, those particular methods, and I won't teach you any of that. We, of course, because of the title of this class, I gave it away ahead of time. We will not actually be discussing anything to do with Instagram ads. So I did a class last week about how to make your first $1,000. I actually did talk about ads in that particular class. So if you're interested, I do have the replay available for that class. It is, I believe it's $27, something like that. So you can actually get the replay if you're interested in getting kind of a beginner's look at how to structure your Instagram ads. And so they are a way to grow your business, but that is not what we're going to be talking about again in this class. And so this particular class on how to grow your audience and how to nurture your audience without using ads is really extremely helpful, especially for those of you who are just starting out and you may not have the budget for ads right now, or you may not be well known enough for ads to make sense. And what I mean by that is ads in and of themselves do not get you more followers. Ads get you traffic. So it's up to you as to if you can make the traffic convert to a follower or to a customer or not. So when your ad sends someone to your profile or to your landing page, they need to connect with what they see there on your profile. It has to be something that cuts through the noise and it immediately lets them know that what you offer is for them and your page is worth a follow or an email opt-in or whatever your call to action is on your page. So if you're still in these stages of trying to figure all of that out and you don't want to invest in ads right now, the methods that I'm going to be teaching you today are going to be gold for you in your business building efforts. And so I'll be sharing pure organic methods that are growth methods to help you engage with real people that want to know more about you and how your business can help them. So please remember that there's not going to be a replay of this sent out after this. So be sure that you're taking notes as we go along. Also, I'll be taking a few questions after I conclude my presentation. So I won't be able to go back over complete portions of the teaching, but just for the, for the sake of time, but I will do my best to clarify certain points if you need that. So just either write your questions down or either drop them in the question box that is there for you. And you can, again, you can also put questions in the question box. Try not to put too many questions in the chat box though, because sometimes the chat box can go really fast and I'll miss some questions or they get lost in that chat box. So try to use that. And I'm going to periodically stop throughout the lesson to make sure everybody is on the same page. And again, don't forget to check your email after this class is over, and I'm going to send out the link to get the replay for this particular class if it's something that you're interested in, because some people, it takes them multiple times of having to hear something or go over a concept before they actually get it. So I'm going to be sending it out right after this class is over. And so let's get into it. I'm sure you all are ready for the meat of the lesson. So we're going to focus on real, organic, and authentic ways to connect with and grow your audience. You are human. The people that you are connecting with are human. The people that you want to become your customers are human. And so you need to approach them as such. We live in a society that prides itself on many times automation. And while automation has its place in business, creating real connection is not a place for automation. And so you need to be responding to comments. You need to be responding to your DMs. And I know that that sounds very, very simple, but you would not believe, how many businesses do not respond to their DMs. They don't respond to comments. They don't respond to questions. And I think sometimes that vanity metrics can really trip us up as it pertains to how we interact and why we interact. And sometimes even why we don't interact. I think that a lot of times we get really caught up in this, and I have been guilty of this myself. We get caught up in the numbers game on social media. And so looking at numbers, even on here and when you go live, sometimes it's one of those things that kind of, I don't know if it's like if it's an ego thing or if it's just one of those things that gets us really caught off guard. Now, has anybody ever struggled with, with this as far as getting caught up in vanity metrics, getting caught up in numbers? You could drop a 1 in the chat box if you've ever kind of gotten caught up in that, or maybe you've allowed numbers to stop you from actually going live or feeling like many people wouldn't join in, or something like that. And this is the thing, and I want to put this in perspective for you. I really want to put this in perspective for you, because if you're on Facebook Live or if you're on Instagram Live and you have 5 people watching your live, or you have 10 people watching your live, if 10 people, even 5 people, if 5 or 10 people were actually you invited them into your home to sit on your couch or sit around your kitchen table to have a conversation with you that you're having with them on live, that's a big crowd. That is a big crowd. And so, you have to realize that even if it's one person that's up there in the corner of your screen, that one person is not a binary faceless digit number. That is a real person that has real fears, that has real hopes, that have dreams, and one whose problems your business could possibly solve for them. So don't get caught up in the what will people think if they only see that I had, 5 people watch my live or this or that. Because who's to say they may not come back and watch the replay? Or again, if it's just one person, that gets the message that you're supposed to get. I'm a Jesus girl, so from time to time you're gonna hear him come up in my classes. And if that's not your thing, just bear with me or overlook it, or these may not be classes for you, because I never leave him out of anything that I do. I never leave him out of anything that I do, because I push marketplace ministry. And I brought that up because when it comes to reaching your audience and connecting with your audience, you have to know who you are called to. I believe that we all have people that are assigned to our message. And there are people out there that will fully resonate with your story, but they will never hear it in some cases, because the person that God is calling to tell the story is worried about how many people are going to join in live or not join in live. And so let's kind of go further into it, but I want you to let that soak in. You cannot get caught up in that, because the people that need your business, the people that need to hear your story, the people that need the content that God is calling you to share online, they need you to be there. They need you to show up. Some people can't do what they're called to do because you haven't done what you're called to do. And so don't let the vanity metrics get you caught off guard. I've ran, like I said, some of my lowest performing posts as it pertains to likes, or things that you can actually see, in terms of likes and stuff like that, have been some of my top performing posts in terms of actually converting people or sharing, people saving it, or things like that. So don't get caught up in likes and all of that particular stuff. So what we're going to talk about next is how to write a bio for your Instagram page that will position you as an expert in the mind of your target followers. Now, I wanted to start here because when someone comes to your page, your bio is what will either attract them or it's going to repel them. So you want to have a bio that attracts the people who fit your target audience. You want them to follow you or DM you or take whatever call to action you have in your bio. This is a big pain point for people. And I'm even guilty again. I'm the first one to tell on myself with this whole thing. And the goal is to make your message super clear to attract the right followers, and then get them to follow that link in your bio so you can start generating leads for your business. Now, I'm not sure why this is such a pain point for us entrepreneurs, but not being specific enough is killing some of you all's bio game. And if we have time, I will actually go and look at some of you all's bios if we have time at the end of this. But it's killing your bio game. And maybe it's the thought of niching down, or the thought of having to possibly turn people away that worries you. I'm not sure, but when you aim at everything, you hit nothing. And what happens when you stay vague and you stay broad? The message doesn't resonate with anybody in particular. It does not resonate with anybody. And so your message needs to ideally speak to the pain point that your target follower has. And so there's a saying that says it's easier to sell the cure than it is to sell prevention. I'm going to say that again. It's easier to sell the cure than it is to sell prevention. Type a 1 in the comments if you follow what I'm saying. And so this means that the pain is a greater motivator that causes people to take action than not. I'm going to say that again. This means that pain is the greater motivator. And so when people are in pain, they're going to do whatever it takes to be able to find something to relieve that pain. And so that's why you need to be speaking to the pain point, because that's what's going to get your audience's attention, is speaking to the pain point more than it is just speaking to trying to prevent something, because they're not really in any real pain. So there's no real sense of urgency, right? So it's easier to sell a cure than it is prevention. So you need to be speaking to your audience's pain points. And the perfect way to do that, as soon as they hit your Instagram page, your bio is going to be the first thing that either is going to attract them to you or it is going to repel them from you. And so the truth is, when you're doing people a disservice and you're essentially turning them away because of a lack of clarity. Because if they don't know in those critical moments that you have their attention, that you can actually help them, they're going to scroll on to the next bio, and you only get 150 characters. So your bio has to be concise with your message. You don't have any other choice. You don't have characters to waste on Instagram bio, right? So when I say concise, I mean specific. I mean, you need to be talking directly to your target follower immediately, because that's the first and possibly the last opportunity you will have to showcase what your business has to offer and what you have to offer. If you are your business, you may be a personal brand or a coach or a consultant. So you have to know who you help and how you can help them. So this is for you all. You have to know who you can help and how you can help them. If you don't know this, then you've got to go all the way back to the drawing board to figure out who you specifically help in your business. What's your niche? What's your industry? Who's your target customer? What results do you know that you can get for somebody? You need to know that when you approach writing your bio, because that's what your bio is going to rise and set on. And so for a moment, I want you to think about for a moment who you help and what you help them do. So I recommend this to open up your bio, and I'm going to give you some templates in a moment, but to open up your bio basically by saying, I help, blah, 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 and then tell them how you can help them. So for me, and this isn't my real bio, but this is going to give you a sense of what I mean by that. So for me, I help online entrepreneurs to start their online business. That's very general. Mine is a bit more niche than that, but that's a general sense of what I mean when I say I help entrepreneurs help start their online businesses. So you need to give them the who and the how. So give them who you're helping and then how you're helping them. So don't try to use this line for something cute and catchy, because those cute and catchy lines are leading to confusion. And again, these followers, if we're so distracted on social media, they're going to go on to the next account if they cannot figure out what you're talking about. So you need to be able to, you need to be able to speak clearly, because again, people are not going to reach out to you to try to get clarity on exactly what your bio means. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to look at even if you get them on your page, they're not going to reach out to you to get clarity on your product or your service or your offering. If it's confusing, they're just going to move on to the next thing. They're not going to circle back to get clarity. So at this point, if it's not clear as to who you help and how you can help them, you may need to take a step back and ask yourself, have I niched down enough to where I know very clearly who I'm helping and how I'm helping them? And this is what's going to make your bio easier to write, when you're very, very clear, when you're laser clear on who you help and how you help them. Again, my motto is always seek to be clear, not clever. That'll preach. Okay, so again, your bio is not an opportunity to talk about yourself. So you need to make it about your target audience. So here are two examples I'm going to show you guys right now. Two examples of bios in regards to how this template that I'm talking about, how this works. So this first one is actually, her name is Jordan Gill. And her business is System Saved Me. So basically it's very, very clear here as to who she is helping. She says, I helped overworked one-woman shows become streamlined solopreneurs, meaning people that are working by themselves. So that's very, very clear as to who she helps. Even so clear that it goes down to she works pretty much only with women. I'm sure she might have men or, others that fall outside of her target. But it's very, very clear. If I was to come to her page, I would have a very clear picture immediately of what she could help me to accomplish. Okay. So the next one is Amy Porterfield. She is a little bit bigger following, bigger account, but also here she is very, very clear. She is an online marketing trainer, and she's helping entrepreneurs build engaged email lists, digital courses, and profitable webinars. Very, very clear, very concise as to what it is that she can help you do. So this is the line of thinking that I want you all to have in regards to when you're creating your bio, what you need to have. So let's kind of continue on with that. So the second line in your bio is going to be a place where you can insert some verbiage that helps you stand out from your competitors. So what makes you different than the rest of the fitness trainers out there? Or what makes you different than the other relationship coaches out there? Or what makes you different from the other bakers out there? Again, this comes with knowing what you bring to the table, and most of all, being clear on the exact results that you can actually get for someone. And this second line actually will help you change, will give you a chance to build authority rather, and position yourself as an expert in your target follower's mind. Again, right, essentially instantly or right away. And now here's the thing with some of you, and you may not have years of experience under your belt, because I know many of you that are watching and many of you that follow me and engage with my content are beginners. So you may not have years of experience in your industry under your belt. And if you're newer to business, you may not be at the point to where you've made tens of thousands of dollars for your clients and for yourself, and millions of dollars that you can tout, that helps you stand out from your competitors. So in that case, I'm going to give you some information on exactly what you could put there for your second line, in regards to creating a unique selling proposition, or in other words, I'm going to call it a USP for short. I like to call it USP. So your second line, this is really essentially all you're doing. And so some of the USP examples I'm going to give you real quick are just things that you can actually do, especially as beginners, that will help you to craft that second line to help you stand out from your competitors. And it doesn't have to be that you worked with tens of thousands of folk and you've spoken all over the world and you're an international speaker. These are things that you could have even starting out, that would help you to be able to stand out from your competitors. So real quick, let me go over some of these particular things. Now, some examples of a USP could be that you are, hold on, I'm just doing my slides too fast. Let me slow down. So an example of a USP, the first one is maybe you have a signature style. So you have a recognizable, unique aesthetic style. So this can be visually, but it could also be in your writing style, or your vocal tone, or your presentation style, or your personality. I know for me, one of my styles is my accent. um, it's very clear that I'm from the South. So my accent, and not that that's necessarily a selling point, but it is a point that separates me, because of my accent and my vernacular. A lot of times it separates me. So don't use that as a USP. That's just kind of what I do to, to help, because everybody's always pointing out my accent. So when I say signature style, again, what is it that maybe it's a writing style, or just something, or a baking style, or a design style that you have. So what is your USP? Is it your signature style? Another one is you could have extreme specialization in an area. Maybe you only work with clients from a tiny part of an already niche market. This could also mean you work with a specific type of a problem. So an example of this is a photographer who only shoots outdoor farmhouse weddings. Yes, it is a thing, because I have checked. So that is a thing. So you may be already in a niche market, but maybe you work with a niche of a niche. And so you're extremely specialized in who you work with, and you're extremely specific in who you work with. Maybe that's your USP. Also, maybe a USP for you could be unusually fast or outstanding customer service. So maybe you could offer fast turnaround, or 24/7 support, or a 15-minute response time on emails, or return calls within 30 minutes, or maybe you can offer your clients a preliminary draft in 48 hours, or unlimited revisions. I don't know, maybe some sort of, like I said, just some sort of a unusually fast or outstanding type of customer service that you could offer. And again, you don't have to, you just make the decision to offer those things. And then of course you back them up and you do them well. But that's not something that you have to have had years of experience in business to tout to help you stand out from your competitors. Another thing is it could be your location. Maybe you are geographically close to your target customers. Maybe you offer in-person meetings, or maybe you work on site. Another one that you could also use is a strong guarantee. So a strong guarantee, it holds you to a higher level of accountability and to deliver quality. And so you can guarantee an outcome. So for example, you could tell your customers, we don't charge you until we get it right. Or maybe you have a strong guarantee that you have a high level of accuracy on whatever your deliverable is for your client. So maybe a book editor may guarantee that there will be no grammatical errors upon delivery, or else you will get your money back. So that may be a strong guarantee that you have. Or this is one that I really love, and I think that regardless of what business you're in, that this could be a strong selling point that would resonate well with your target follower, is your personal background story. So you might not be a celebrity, but you may have a great personality that makes you a joy to work with. You might have a personal style that resonates well with your target audience. So tell your story. Your target audience is usually a previous version of yourself, especially if you are in a niche or a business model, again, that you are selling your knowledge, or you are in what I call the wisdom business, meaning you are packaging your knowledge, whether that's you're an author, a speaker, maybe you're creating online courses, maybe you're a coach or a consultant. You have to tell your story so that it can resonate with the people that you are called to reach. And so again, how can you share your story in a way that connects with your audience so that they can relate to you and ultimately trust you? Lastly, as far as USPs go, maybe you are a one-stop shop, right? So you're able to take a project through to completion on your own. So whatever your project needs, you provide it. Maybe you have all-in-one packages. Now, I want to caution you here with this one, being a one-stop shop. Now, in the beginning, this can be good for you because, maybe you're doing it out of necessity. You may be able to actually handle doing everything for a while, but as you grow and you scale, it's going to become more difficult for you to do everything and deliver it well. So keep this in mind as you're building your brand, and train your target market on what they can expect next from you as your business continues to grow. So if they came on board and you were a one-stop shop, as you grow and those things become more difficult, you need to be able to train your target market. Again, that, to wean them off of you as you begin to hire employees, or as you begin to delegate that work out to other people. You need to just keep your target market and your customers and stuff like that abreast on that. And so if all else fails in regards to your USP, ask your people, ask people that are around you, ask people, your current customers, ask them why they do business with you. I was stuck here at one point as well myself, and every now and then I'll still go back and kind of ask people, because my audience changes and people come on board and new people follow me. And so I don't always know why people are following me in different seasons as my business continues to grow. And so I asked them, I reached out to them. I think I did like a post and maybe a story and a poll and maybe some stuff in my email list. And so their sentiments were that they followed me, and a lot of them followed me because they enjoyed my free classes, like many of you are on here today. They enjoyed my classes, and that I was very good at breaking down complex concepts for them to be able to understand. And so they let me know that. So I use that as leverage in order to show what set me apart from my competitors. A lot of people are teaching online classes, but again, you have to know what sets you apart. There's relatively nothing new under the sun. So even if people are doing what you're doing, you have to know, again, your story and all of these things, and the things that actually set you apart from your competitor, because there's really no new business. So don't get caught up in all of that. Now, lastly, your third line on your bio, it needs to be a call to action, or in other words, it needs to be your CTA is what I like to call it for short. So this is what your followers need to take action on, or what they need to click in your bio. So a lot of people, just sometimes put the link there, but there's no real compelling reason for the person visiting your profile to click the link. So you know, as you're crafting your third line, or this CTA as I call it, you need to approach it with a with them attitude, or from the point of view of your target follower. With them means what's in it for me. So what's in it for your target follower if they click the link? Is there a free training? Is there a discount code? Is there a quiz? Or is there a video with some helpful tips that will be able to help them get a quick win? Why should they click the link? And you need to be very specific on your CTA, or your call to action, in your bio on that third line. And so quick wins are a great way to gain new followers, as well as subscriptions, or people to subscribe to your email list. So when you're able to get your follower a quick win, no matter how small that is, what you're going to start to do is you're going to start positioning yourself in their mind as a problem solver and the go-to person that's able to help them get quick results. And so again, don't be afraid to get specific here, because, you know, again, if they can't figure out how it's going to benefit them, then they will not click on the link. They will just move on. And so, you know, here are a couple of templates. I'm going to share some templates with you real quick as far as your bio is concerned. And here's one type of template. Hold on one second. So line number 1, I am a blank, whatever your title is, who takes blank from whatever the pain point is to the benefit of your services. So line number 2 is, maybe you've been, again, what sets you apart from your competition? Maybe you were featured in some magazine and you have X years of experience. And then here, line number 3, your CTA, you could say, maybe DM me a keyword for a gift. So, you know, this could be something that you offer them, you know, in regards to maybe a link to download an ebook or some sort of a video training or something to that degree. But here's a bio number 1, and then here's an example for number 2. Hold on. So number 2 is, the first line is, again, giving them the who and then the how. I help whoever your target audience is get the benefit of your services. They need to see the, you know, bigger benefit that they want. So what is it that you're helping them to see? What bigger benefit are you helping them to be able to see through your services? So line number 2, again, this is what is separating you from your competitor. So you might have X number of clients served, plus, you know, maybe results added up, or maybe you've helped your customers to lose over, you know, 5,000 pounds. Maybe you're a trainer, and maybe you've helped, you know, your clients, they've lost a cumulative total of, you know, 5,000 pounds. That's, you know, that's incredible. And then also line number 3, your call to action, free, you know, resource that helps them get a quick win. So maybe it's a free ebook on how to do your fitness plan or your meal plans that they can actually have here. So that is two templates for bios. Also, something that's really cool, and if you've probably seen them, and I use them a lot as far as to create my captions on Instagram, because, you know, Instagram doesn't automatically give you line breaks or any of that stuff. So these are 2 websites that you can do. You can screenshot this real quick if you're watching, or just write them down. But coolsymbol.com is basically where you can get lots of different cool symbols, as the title insinuates, to actually put in your bios. They kind of give a little bit more of a, interest, makes it look interesting. Now, don't just put a bunch of stuff, because like I say, you only get 150 characters. So don't just go to sticking stuff everywhere, but make sure that it, like if it's arrows or something like that that you need to point down to click your link, stuff like that. Cool symbols, really good for that. And then appsforlifehost.com/Instagram/caption maker. This is one that I use literally probably every single day. I probably go to this website every single day, and it allows you to insert the line breaks in your captions as well as in your bio. You can do it for your bio as well, but it also allows you to insert like I said, the line breaks and then captions, and then it allows you to make the text bold or italicize the text. So basically all it is Unicode, but many people don't really know how to just do Unicode like that. So these are two really easy websites to help you to be able to do that particular thing, to help make your bios a bit more interesting as well as your captions. So here's some simple tweaks again to your IG profile that you can actually make. Now, did you know that your name is actually a searchable field? So your actual name, let me see if, hold on y'all, stop sharing. Okay, I'm going to, hold on y'all, let me mirror my screen with y'all real quick. 97. I'm going to show y'all. So your name is actually a searchable, your name is a searchable field. Hold on, let me share this screen with you so that you all can see it. Okay, can everybody see that? Hold on, y'all. Let me get the chat. Can everybody see my phone? Okay, so everybody can see my phone. Your name is actually a searchable field. So you see I have Rachel Entrepreneur here. Let me expand that. Rachel Entrepreneur, and it is a searchable field here. And so this is another tweak that I want you to strongly consider in regards to you know, tweaking your bio. Hold on, let me go back to my slides. So, I want you guys to really consider doing that. And so I recommend making a part of that name field your targeted search words. So it could be your industry or your niche or a person that you like to help, like I have entrepreneurs or bakers. But don't get too specific here. Now, this is one of the times that I'm going to urge you not to be super specific. With this particular part here. So choose words that are broad, but most of all, they need to be what your target follower is searching for. So now we're going to move over to how to create a content plan to keep your audience engaged. So let's start with why you need to have a content plan in the first place. So you are creating this content hopefully as a way to for your audience to get to know you. And so your audience usually has to see your content, whether that's your sales pages, your posts, your website, and stuff like that. They have to see it at least 10 to 15 times before they choose to buy from you. And so sometimes before they choose to do anything with you, they have to see your content a number of times, just depending on what it is you offer, the price of what you offer, what you're asking them to do. So they have to see it several times. So your content needs to be relevant to them, and it needs to increase the know, like, and trust factor for your for your followers. And so if you want people to follow your page and engage with you on your page, you need to start giving them value. And so you can give value in I would say generally 3 different ways. And so you see it on your screen there. You can do this by inspiring them, teaching them something new, or entertaining them. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so you can do this by entertaining them, inspiring them, or teaching them something new. Okay, and so each piece of content you create needs to do one of those 3 things. Generally, it's kind of hard to try to do all of them. Sometimes it can, but each piece of content needs to do at least one of those things. So this is going to be the big picture in terms of the content that you need to share with your audience. So you need to think in terms of what type of value do you want to share on your actual timeline or your actual feed, okay? So again, that's going to be inspiration, teaching them something new that they didn't know already, or entertaining them with your content. You could very well, again, do a combination of all of those things with your different posts and stuff like that, just depending on what you offer. I always say mixing it up is good though, because research says that, you know, your inspirational quotes are some of the highest engaging pieces of content out there. So you definitely want to throw in some inspiration for your feed to make sure that, again, make sure it's inspiration that's relevant to your overall target audience. You don't want to just have stuff that's like too outlandish or too different than what they're normally seeing on your feed, because sometimes it can confuse them if it's just something that's too different or too vague in regards to something they've never seen you share before on your content. Okay. So now you're going to choose 3 to 4 themes that you're going to focus on for content creation. So when I say themes, here's a little bit about what I mean by that. So I'll use myself for an example. So one of the themes that I use the most is somewhat of hybrid of a Q&A. So I share value through teaching. So remember I said there are 3 ways to share value: that's inspire them, teach them something they didn't know before, or entertain them. So I share value through teaching with this particular theme of kind of like a Q&A hybrid. So if you've ever been to my IG profile, you've probably seen me share my tweet quotes a lot. And they are actually some of my highest engaging posts on Instagram. So for you, this could look like you making a quote graphic, or with a question, or your target audience has to, you know, question, maybe you make a quote graphic with the question and then answer that question in your caption. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, where do you find the questions? That's a good question. So the first place I say is start checking your DMs, or checking your comments, or checking your emails, and just checking back and thinking back, what questions do people ask me about the topic that I know that I can serve them in? What are people inboxing you about? So again, you know, you can even look in like industry related Facebook groups to see what questions and conversations are going on in there around your industry. Those may be some of the questions that your target audience wants to know about. So another thing that you can talk about is yourself. So this is especially true if you are a personal brand, or if you're trying to position yourself as an expert in your industry. Again, like I said in the very beginning, you are a human being doing business with human beings. So sometimes we take for granted that those people that follow us actually care about what's going on in our lives. And so online business is honestly moving more towards personal interaction, because there's been so much spammy craziness out there. People want to, you know, see more about you and feel like they know you before they do business with you. So in order to do this theme in regards to yourself, this may mean you take a photo shoot, you have a photo shoot so that you can have kind of like a repository, so to speak, of photos. Or if you're a DIY person like I can be from time to time, this can mean you take selfies, or you get a Bluetooth remote timer and, you know, a tripod for your iPhone and take your own pictures. Another thing that I really, really also love, and that are very high they're very high engagement posts on my page, is tips, tricks, and hacks. And so again, my Twitter quotes will do this as well. But I also like to use what I call carousel posts, and I'm going to show you one so that you'll know what I mean, what a carousel post is, so I can show you exactly what this means in terms of this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen with you. So let me share this screen with you real quick. So when I say carousel post, this is a carousel post. So I'm sure many of you have seen this particular one. And basically it's just a post that says how to start an online business for under $100. And it gives you, you know, several tips, tools, tricks, you know, resources that you can use to actually get your business. And it makes it a carousel because these pictures technically are going, you know, like a carousel, going in that way. And so this is how I end it. And so let me see. So this post was actually saved quite a few times. As a matter of fact, let me see another one that I did. How to plan. Yeah, here's another one. 5 tips to help you plan your 2020 vision. These are all, this was just 5 tips that I gave them, and then told them how to follow up with me if they want more information on how to do this. And this one was saved it was saved about 50 times as well. So these are also very high engaging posts. Let's see. Yeah. So this is another one that I did. And so, like I said, it's just real quick information. They'll saved about 30 sometimes. Real quick information that you can give to your audience. Okay. And so going back to this, I'm gonna put the chat up. Okay. So again, one of the other things you can also share with your audience for entertainment is funny videos and memes. And so this, of course, is under the entertainment value add, right? So you can check out your Explore page or use a reposting app to share videos from other pages that you follow that are sharing content that you think your audience will find entertaining. Now, whenever you're reposting and sharing things from other people's account, always give credit to the original poster. And so one more thing that I want to talk about is testimonials, your customer testimonials. So have you gotten standout results for somebody? Share that in a post, or maybe somebody left you a really great comment with something that you helped them with, or maybe they attended your live event and they had a great time. Always share those things. And of course, you need to make sure you get permission from your client, mainly if it wasn't something that they did initiate, or if it wasn't on a public Facebook post. Even still, if they share something, on their page or in your comments about the results, that, maybe you could just screenshot it and drop it in Canva and make a timeline graphic or something like that and post it as a client highlight. So again, this is a good way to show people that you know how to get people results. And so now you need an actual plan about what types of value will you add. Those 3 types of value. Are you going to teach them something? Are you going to inspire them? Are you going to entertain them? Then you need to look at what are your 3 to 4 themes that you're going to share consistently on your Instagram page. And once you know that, you need to look at where you're going to get your content from. Will you create your own graphics and photos? Are you going to use stock images? Again, are you going to repost from other accounts, giving people credit? I suggest that you get familiar with Canva. If you aren't already familiar with Canva.com, Canva is absolutely bae, for real. I don't know if you've used Canva. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've used Canva before, if you're familiar with Canva. If you have used Canva before, then you already know what I'm talking about. So Canva's great. They have free as well as paid, a free as well as a paid version. And so it's a one-stop shop really to create graphics, ebooks, all sorts of things that are on brand, to keep everything again on brand for your business as it pertains to colors, all of that. So once you have that, you need to create a place to store all of your content. So that means all of your pictures, all of your graphics and stuff like that. So it could just be as simple as your Google Drive, or you can do a Dropbox. I prefer Dropbox because it's just a little bit easier in terms of link sharing to me, and just, sharing files with other people that may not have a Gmail account or whatnot. So it's a little bit easier for me to do it that way. Lastly, I want to share something that's going to change your life. Like literally going to change your life in terms of how you put content out there into the world, and that is batching and scheduling. Now, batching is one that you take, is when you take a single workflow at a time, and you focus only on that workflow typically for a couple of hours, a few hours. And this keeps you from jumping around from task to task. And so generally I batch all of my content, meaning I take 2 to 3 hours to create only quote graphics, or only writing emails for my email list, or I batch out all the content for a single course. I do it in one sitting so that I'm focused wholly on that. And then once the content is created, I put it into my scheduling tool. And so currently for scheduling, when I'm scheduling things like that, I use Sprout Social for that. As far as social media posts, I use Sprout Social. Now in the past, I've also used Buffer as well as CoSchedule in the past. And both of them are great. I just needed a bit more robust, more robust system that Sprout Social offered. And so I will generally map out on a weekly basis. I know some people that plan content like 90 days ahead, but honestly, my brain, I don't know, maybe it's the way that I'm wired. I literally have to go, honestly, I love to go week by week. Now, there is some content that I may create, like a month's worth, but like as far as the planning out of everything, even including my sales, like I said, I talked last week in my masterclass on how to make your first $1,000. I talked about how you can map out your sales goals. And so your content and your sales goals need to walk hand in hand. So if you're promoting, if you're selling, if you're going to work on selling 2 particular products in your business this week, then your content needs to weave into that sale. They need to weave into that. And I'm talking to business owners here. So your content that you're putting out, your social media posts, I'm not saying all your posts need to be pitching your product all day, because it doesn't. It needs to be flowing within those themes, but it needs to be woven together to be able to make sure that your content is not disjointed as it pertains to your sales goals and your content goals, because ultimately you are marketing your sales and your products to your followers on social media. So it needs to make sense. It needs to flow together. So again, for inspiration for content, I recommend you use your Notes app if you have an iPhone, or if you don't have an iPhone, if you're still over in the Android team, we still love y'all. But you can use your Evernote app. I love Evernote. I've been using Evernote since it was a thing. So Evernote's really good too, to keep ideas and caption ideas for in content, as you're scrolling yourself and looking at other people's pages, and even looking at your competitors' pages and people that do things that are similar to you. Look at some of the ways that they're sharing content, some of the creative things that other people are doing. Now, again, I'm not saying copy the captions and copy the posts. Just use them for inspiration, but have something to actually create you an ideas system, so to speak, so that you're able to keep those ideas, and then it can inspire you when you're sitting down to batch your content. Okay. So now I want to talk a little bit about hashtags. I know hashtags can be kind of like the bane of a lot of people's existence. Hold on, let me grab some water. Now put a number 2 in the comments if you struggle with hashtags. I want you guys to put a 2 in the comments if you struggle with hashtags. Nobody else struggles with hashtags? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So hashtags are tricky, but I want to kind of give you a quick breakdown as to, hashtags really are, now, like I said, hashtags require work. I'm not going to say that that you won't have to dedicate some time and be intentional about hashtags, but they're really not as scary as they seem. So let's first talk a little bit about how hashtags actually work. So quickly, I want to talk about where you're going to put your hashtags, how to use them effectively for your type of business, as well as I'll share a bit about how search results are organized in Instagram. So hashtags are important for Instagram, primarily because the search functionality in Instagram is very, very limited. It's not robust in terms of a lot of functioning in terms of search. So it's very limited. So in order to get found and get your content discovered on Instagram, you use hashtags related, of course, to the content that you are sharing. So by using hashtags, this is going to allow you to show up in searches for your target audience. Now, you can use hashtags, of course, in your Instagram feed posts, meaning the square posts that you have. You can use up to 30 hashtags as of the time of this teaching. You can use up to 30. And you can either put them in the caption, or you can put them in the comments, the very first comment on your post, in order to have them to rank for searches. Now, any hashtags beyond 30 will not be counted. I think sometimes it won't even let you post if it's beyond, if it's over 30. But for your Instagram feed post, it can be up to 30. You can put them in your actual caption, or you can put them in the very first comment. Now, let me give you all a word of advice. If you're going, because some people don't like to put their hashtags in their caption because they want their caption to look pretty. Okay, I get it. I'm with you on that. So maybe you want to put yours in the very first comment. Here's the thing: if you're going to take your hashtags and put them in the very first comment, you have to make sure that you post them immediately after you post that particular caption and that particular photo. You cannot go back and go wash your car and come back and then put your hashtags in the caption. It will not work like that. Instagram will not associate them with that particular post as far as searching. It will not associate them if you wait too long to put them in that first comment. Okay, so make sure you put them, I mean, like literally between 10 to 15 seconds. I'm talking about like quick off the draw. You have to put it right there in the first comment so that Instagram will associate those hashtags with the search for that particular post. Okay, did everybody got that? Yes. Okay, so make sure you're not doing that, because you'll be thinking hashtags don't work when you put them in the caption, when really it was just the fact that you did not put them in there in the time that you needed to. So make sure that you guys are putting them in there right away. The second thing that you can do is your Instagram stories. Now, your Instagram stories, you can put up to 10, I believe. Now, there was some discrepancy on whether it was 10 or 3. I've done up to 10. Or you can use one hashtag sticker. So if you use a hashtag sticker, then you can't do, then none of the other hashtags will work in text. So you can either do one hashtag sticker in your Instagram story, or 10 in your 10 Instagram hashtags in the story, 10 hashtags. I'm getting my words all jumbled up. But again, you need to make sure that you put here in your stories. I know some people will try to shrink their hashtags all the way down, to where you can't see them, or they'll try to make them blend in with the background and stuff like that. Here's the thing with doing that. A lot of times Instagram will not recognize them in the search functionality when you do that. They have caught on to that. So you need to still make sure. I'm not saying that you can't make them pretty or do whatever. But if you're going to use your Instagram stories, so that your stories, Instagram hashtags in your stories, you need to make sure that they are somewhat visible so that Instagram recognizes them. Now I'm going to tell you, with your feed post, you need to go make sure that I'm going to show you how to do this. Make sure that your hashtags are very specific and catered. But when you talk about Instagram story hashtags, you really need to go broad on your hashtags for Instagram stories, because of the fact that they only stay around for 24 hours. So some of the more popular hashtags, you need to probably go broader with your Instagram story hashtags than you do with your Instagram feed. Also, the last one you can use is, of course, on IGTV, and that is 30 hashtags that you can use. And IGTV works somewhat, like just a feed post. So it's important to note that even when you use hashtags, y'all, I don't want to set you guys up and get your hopes all the way up here. Even when you use hashtags, it doesn't mean that you're going to show up in every search for that tag. They're sorted algorithmically, right? So I don't want you to let that discourage you, though, because this is 2 ways when it comes to searching. Here are 2 ways that Instagram does this. Now, let me share my I'm going to share my screen with y'all again, y'all. Here we go, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me share my screen with you so that you can kind of see what I have here. Okay, so when we go, we're going to hit this little search bar, and then we'll search here. So you'll see everything in top posts. Let me see. Well, let me see. Everything, let me see. Let's go to entrepreneur. So you have top and then you have recent. So everything in top posts are sorted algorithmically. And again, that's based on you as an individual and the type of content that you're frequently interacting with. And so if you really like hairstyles, then you're more likely to see that in your search results. Or if you like motivational quotes, then, you know, you're more likely to see that in your search results, you know, no matter what you actually are searching for. And so let me make sure you guys can see. So I'm going to make sure everybody can see. Okay. So does everybody see my phone? Everybody see my Instagram page? I just want to make sure we're on point. Okay. So, no matter what you're searching for, when you see top, here, when you see top here, it's algorithmically sorted. So it's going to post things in here. It's going to, you know, things that are hashtag entrepreneur, but it's going to give you things that are hashtag entrepreneur that are according to what you typically are searching for. So this means if you and a friend are actually sitting side by side and you both search entrepreneur, your friend's feed on the top post is going to look completely different than yours. Because again, it's giving you results based on what type of content you typically engage with. Now, if you go over to the recent tab here, hold on. Now, when you go over to the recent tab, it's going to, that is actually sorted chronologically. And here's where you're more likely to appear in the search. But algorithm does still come into play here as well. So again, there's no guarantee to me, but hashtags is a use it or a lose it type of thing. So there's still a chance that you could show up in these feeds. So I always recommend that you find the best hashtags for your business and add them to your post here on Instagram. So an easy way to find good hashtags for your posts, and I say easy, but not quick necessarily, because it's going to require you to do some research. But again, it's not complicated. These are some easy ways to do it. So you need to start by brainstorming some good hashtags for your post. That's the first thing you need to do. Everybody say brainstorm for some hashtags for your post. So what is the subject matter of your post? You can even type them into the search bar on IG to see if they populate, as well as check out some of the suggested hashtags that populate when you check in your initial idea. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to type in business. So here, see how additional ones already populate. So businesses here, then they have business owner, they have business casual. All of these are, look, they're about they're in the millions of posts. So these are big hashtags. And when I say big hashtags, meaning that a lot of posts are using these particular hashtags. So let's see if we can scroll down to see now you see some that are smaller. So that are like business intelligence, 172K, all of those particular things. So it's going to populate some ideas for you. So Instagram is basically doing the work for you in regards to populating some posts that are usable in regards to that that particular keyword as far as business. So that's only if you're in business. Maybe you're in let's try fitness. No, not Forbes. Fitness. Okay, so again, see, they have several things that came up in regards to fitness, you know, stuff that automatically populated in regards to, and as you go down, you'll start seeing the posts get smaller and smaller and smaller. And then, so let's just say fitness guru. So now you see really small posts. So like about 1,000 or so. So these are really small. So this is fitness gurus K. I don't know what that means. Guru man fitness. Maybe that's somebody's personal branded hashtag. So like when you start seeing them get that small, usually these are personal branded hashtags. And so that's also a thing if you want to have a branded hashtag, then you know that's fine if you want to do that too. Another thing that you can also do is look at keywords based on the topic. So look at hashtags for the location, if that applies to you also, because if you're a business that you have specific, like I said, as far as maybe your unique selling position is your location and your proximity to your customers, look at hashtags based on your location. Also look at keywords based on the subject matter of the specific post. And you could also consider the brands featured in your post if this applies to you, or the emotions or the lifestyle of what you're talking about in your post. And last but not least, also consider your industry and your niche hashtags as well. Now, you also want to check out the Explore page. So when we talk about the Explore page, here's the Explore page. I have a lot of stuff with Kobe Bryant up in my Explore page because I've just been, you know, I don't know, really obsessed with just, you know, the tragedy and stuff like that. So I have a lot of Kobe Bryant stuff in here, some stuff probably for Black History Month. Let me see if I can find something here. What's this? So let's see what hashtag. So they have, you see they have hashtags here, twin mamas. This doesn't really apply to my market. But let's see. Let me see. So this one is sponsored. Let me see if I can. Let me try to find another good one. I don't know what my Explore page has got going on. Okay, let me see. Let's try one more. So I can just show you. Now these, again, these don't have to, so now here's one hashtag. I'm trying to find some that has basically a good example of what you can look for, what you need to look for in terms of, let me see, in terms of what you need to look for with your hashtags. But you guys get the picture. So I'm not sure why this is not pulling up any better. Let me see. Let's try this again. So here we go. Let's do this. This is better. This should be better. Let's see. This one probably has some hash. So yes, here we go. Now we're cooking chicken. Okay, so see how they have all of these hashtags right here. So look at some of these hashtags. If this post is something that, if this is something that would relate to your target audience, then you need to look at some of these hashtags that they're using. And then just like I said, go to the hashtag. And then, like I said, I clicked on inspiration. That was in their hashtag, woman power, 1.8 million posts. So these are still kind of big. All of these, but this is probably a big account. Let me see, Girl Building Empire. Yeah, so this is a 1.3 million follower account. So that's why they're using these big hashtags. So now, again, this brings me to my next point when we talk about how big should the hashtags be. And when I say how big should they be, that means how many posts, like where it says, like I said here, 7.3 million posts. So that's a big hashtag. So we don't want to necessarily use those, again, depending on how big your account is. If you have a bigger account, like if your account is in the 6-figure range, you can target people with these popular hashtags and still get a chance of being seen in the search. Like you see many of these posts that are still coming up under entrepreneur, they're still being seen because they're really, really big accounts, right? So if you have a smaller account, then not so much. So if that's you, then here's a strategy that you can use to find hashtags that will help you to get seen in the searches. So if your account is in about the range of 500 followers to 1,000 followers, or maybe even 2,500 followers, you're going to try to use hashtags within the range of 10,000 to the 200,000 post range. These hashtags aren't too small and they're not too big. So also make sure you're doing your research to make sure that the hashtag has not been banned, y'all. This is a real thing too. Make sure the hashtag has not been banned. Yes, this happens, and I'm going to show you one real quick. Sometimes what happens is people will take over even an seemingly innocent hashtag and use them to spread inappropriate content. And when IG sees this, they will actually ban those particular accounts. So sometimes the ban is not permanent, other times it is. So here's an example of a hashtag that has been, some of the content has been banned. Believe it or not, this one, Happy Thanksgiving. No, my bad. Let me see. It's not spelled right. Happy Thanksgiving. So here is Happy Thanksgiving. But see, you don't see right here, y'all, you don't see top and recent. So it says recent posts from Happy Thanksgiving are currently hidden because the community has reported some content that may not meet Instagram's community guidelines. So remember, like any other post we've seen top right there and then recent right there. This one has been banned to a degree. You still see some posts here, but you can't see a lot of posts. A lot of them have gotten banned. So you also want to make sure, and the best thing for me, again, I say go through IG and look at these individual pages to make sure that you don't get a message like this for a hashtag that you're trying to use, because essentially that'll be a wasted hashtag if it's been banned, or if it's been if it's been banned or not able to be used on Instagram, and you don't want your account to be associated with those banned hashtags. So again, make sure you're also, this brings me to my next point, make sure you're also keeping your hashtags relevant. So what will happen is sometimes people will attach a hashtag that's trending to their post and try to ride that wave, but do not do that. Again, we're talking about making authentic connection. We don't want just likes and all of that stuff. We want authentic connection, because what happens is if you are posting and attaching unrelated hashtags, your account can also be flagged and reported, and you do not want that. So be sure to make sure your content is relevant to the hashtag that you're using. So to wrap this particular part up, my favorite way to actually research hashtags and use all 30, like I said, why not? You get 30, so why not use, that's 30 different chances for people to discover your content. But again, make sure you're not using too big of a hashtag. Like I said, if your account is, between that 500, 2,500 range, then, you need to kind of stick with some of those hashtags, even some that are like 20,000 polls. Like I said, between 10,000 and 200,000 should be the range in regards to the type of hashtags that you should be using for your posts. Now, before I go to my last point, I want to make sure and see if we have any additional questions. If we have any questions, and you can actually just drop them in the chat box. So for 500 to 1,000 followers, that's going to be about 10,000 posts to up to 200,000 posts. What's the purpose of benefits of IG stories? I like IG stories. Let me see if I can. I like IG stories because of, I like IG stories because it allows you to build relationship with your followers. It allows you to be able to tell content that you wouldn't necessarily be posting in, on your feed all the time. So it allows you to, be able to, like I said, allow people to get to know you. Again, like it could just be real quick stuff, in regards to, what you did that day or where you're eating, or just like real quick things, or like I said, sharing links. And so I'm going to share you, the last thing I'm going to share is how, if you don't have over 10,000 followers, how you can actually get the swipe up feature. I'm going to try to share that with you all if my computer will act right. And so I like IG stories because, again, it gives people a chance to actually get to know you. And that's the whole point of this particular class, because you want people to know, like, and trust you. When people are doing business with you, you want to make sure that you are presenting yourself in a way that you come across as relatable. And a lot of times your stories give you a chance to do that when just your regular feed posts may not, because it gives people a chance to do to, you know, ongoing communications, to DM you. There are all sorts of things that you can do. And I may do a lesson on that as far as just specifically on Instagram stories, because I believe that Instagram stories are probably the next, well, they really already are, but definitely a big integral part, especially if you're trying to build a personal brand. Instagram stories are going to be vital to your business. And so if you have less than 100 followers, Marlene, when you say when you have less than 100 followers in regards to your hashtags, I would say again, just continue to try to build your audience up in regards to that, but just start with, you know, I would say start with those hashtags, maybe using a little bit less in regards to that, maybe under 10K if you have right under 100 followers. But some of the things to do, and I'm trying to think in regards to what do you actually, what if you have less than 100? So Marlene, what do you actually do? What's your business? Okay, I think she might either be typing or maybe she didn't get it. But I would say you have less than 100 followers. Okay, so again, I think some of the things when we talk about ways to build genuine connection, I would say in this, your financial coach. Okay, so I would say that you need to really, when you talk about you need to get that bio together. Make sure your bio clearly states what people can expect if they follow your page. Like I said, people need to understand and know exactly who you are and why they should follow your page. So make sure your page is not confusing. You can even get people's opinion, you know, get other people's opinion. When you come to my page, what is it? What's your first impression? Is it clear as far as how I can help you? But in this case, when we talk about building your followers up without using ads, because again, I think ads, you know, I think ads are just to get you more traffic, but they aren't necessarily to get you more followers. People have to actually connect and resonate with what they see when they get to your page. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is you're finding your competitors. I say if you have less than 100 followers, or even if you have more than 100 followers and you're trying to build your following, find some of your big competitors. So like people that have these accounts that have, you know, several 100,000 or even 1 million, and maybe they're not responding to a lot of the questions in the comments that people have. And so your job would be to go to their pages and start, you know, liking and interacting with people in the comments. And maybe that's answering questions. Like if they're like a lot of these big accounts, they, you know, as much as they try to, they're not able to address and answer every single question that somebody puts in their comments. But if you are an expert on finances or you have a level of expertise, then that's your chance to go and interact with that person and answer their question for them. I'm not saying be pushy or intrusive or obnoxious, but there's a way to engage, because this is the thing with social media. It is a community platform. It's a place to build community. It's a place to build connection. And so if you aren't responding to people, if you aren't going in and being social on other people's pages, then, you know, it's the law of reciprocation. When you do that and you're helpful and you go to other people's pages, those things start coming back to you. So what can happen is, and I won't say that it's a 100% ace on the ground, but what could happen is if you're going to these larger competitors' pages, you're engaging in the comments, people will see that and take notice. And a lot of times people will say, oh, okay, that was helpful. You know, this piece of advice that she shared, go to your page, click through your page, and maybe choose to follow you, or maybe even DM you for more information as to how you can help. Or if you have something, a link in your bio, a call to action, that's why you need to have a call to action that people can connect with you. Because here's the ultimate goal, y'all. If you are an entrepreneur, social media is not your end game. Social media is the start of a relationship with clients and customers that you want to be long-term clients and customers. Social media is rented space. You don't own social media. So if, just like MySpace and even Periscope, people have built up these big, huge platforms on these social media channels. And when those social media channels went away, their brands went away, their platforms went away. So the goal is to get people engaged and build relationship with people on social media, but to find a way to get them off of social media onto an email list where you can nurture them further, because you technically own your email list. That's something that you can control in regards to when people hear from you and how people hear from you and how often they hear from you. Because if they get on your email list, giving somebody your email address is almost like giving people your phone number nowadays, because of the fact that, you know, people are so protective of their information. So if somebody gives you their email address and opts in to get something from you, they are telling you, hey, I want to hear more from you about how you've already exhibited that you have something of value that you could give to me. So now I want to know more. So that's why you've got to have a way to capture these people when they're coming to your page. And the perfect way to do that is to, number one, get their attention with your bio. Having a really clear bio as far as what you can offer and what you're all about, and then having a very clear call to action. You have to literally tell people what to do. Click here to download my freebie or my free resource on XYZ. Like, literally, you have to be just that explicit, because people, they just, I don't know, you just have to be that explicit. So the goal is to get them off of social media, but to build community and relationship, and just to find the people, because people are literally on social media all day. That's where the people are. So yes, you're going to have to use social media for that, but social media should not be your end game. That's why I'm not really worried about necessarily. I think followers, having a high follower count is good social proof, but I know people that I have clients that have less than 2,500 followers and still make 5 figures every month from from leads they're getting off of Instagram and social media. So don't hang your hat on these vanity metrics that really don't mean much as it pertains to how much money you can make. If your goal is to build genuine relationships with people, you have to make sure that your goal is to build genuine relationships with people. So even if you have that, like I said, go to your competitors' pages, go to where the people already are. Where are they already building community? Are there Facebook groups where people are already building community, that you can actually, again, have something to have somewhere to take them once you engage with them? It's not enough to just engage with them and then like, oh, okay, that's interesting, I want to know more. Well, you need to have somewhere to take them when they say they want to know more. So that may mean that you need to sit down and go through some of these things to really make sure that your niche is very clear, that you're very clear on what result you can get for people, and that you are very clear on how you can help them, and that you are also very clear on making sure that you can show them that you can truly help them, and give some receipts, as they say. And a lot of times that means sharing your story. So in sharing your transition, again, I always say that your ideal customer or your target follower are generally previous versions of yourself. So again, maybe you lost a lot of weight, and now you're able to share your weight loss journey with other people, and you're able to get them the same results that you had, because there was a system in what you went through to lose the weight. So now you're sharing that system with other people, and maybe you got yourself out of debt. So now you have the system to be able to help other people use that same system to get themselves out of debt. What is your story? Maybe you got yourself out of a toxic relationship. Again, what is the system in what you went through to be able to be able to morph into the person that you are now? And so, like I said, it's going to take some work, and it's going to take you sitting down. This is not, like I said, I don't do fluff in regards to the stuff that I teach. It takes real work. Sometimes it takes being vulnerable. Anytime you get into sharing your story with people, it's going to require a level of vulnerability with your audience. And if you're not really ready to be vulnerable, then you're going to have a hard time talking to people and really engaging with people from a place of authenticity, because people can smell a phony a mile away. I'm telling you, nowadays it takes one good Google search to spot a fake. So don't let that be you. So make sure that you are that you know, and when you know what you know, it helps you to be able to speak with more confidence as with your audience as well. So I hope that makes sense. Yes, I have the system and take control. Absolutely, that's good. Is it Shaquana? Maybe it's Shaquana. Okay, that's awesome. Awesome, Shaquana. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Like I said, follower counts and stuff like that, that's not necessarily the goal of this class. I don't want, you know, like I said, I'm not saying that you shouldn't grow your follower count, because when you grow followers, that means people are engaging with you and people are connecting with you. So it has its place, but my goal is to help you to condition your mindset to make your profile a place to where people can connect with you, because when they immediately come to your profile, they can see how you are able to help them. And so that's what I want for you all. And then not only that, but also a way for you to create a place to take them. Where is your virtual home? That may be a landing page with, like I said, with the freebie to get on your email list, or a webinar or something like that. You got to figure out what that's going to be for you in terms of free content. Don't be stingy with free content. Don't be stingy with it either. I'm not saying give away everything, but you have to be think in terms of generosity, because here's what happens when you give away great free content. Then people will say, wow, if this is her free content, I can only imagine what her paid content is. And they will be more apt to buy from you, because people want to take a test drive. They want to see what you're really about. Like, they want to see if you mesh. Like, my teaching style is not for everybody, you know, so people come to my free classes just to see what it's all about and what kind of value they can get from it. And I'm all about giving people value. I love teaching. I love sharing this kind of information, because I believe that this is what it takes to empower people. I believe that, you know, for me, I'm always about sharing information, because like I said, if I max out on my purpose and ad tax, it's still going to be people that need help with entrepreneurship. So for me to sit on my gifts and not help other people who want to become entrepreneurs in whatever it is that God is calling them to do, that's crazy. Like, it's literally on Facebook alone, like a third of the world's population is on Facebook. So, I mean, I can't service everybody. I can't service that many folk. So we're going to have to help one another to be able to do what they're called to do, so that we can reach everybody that we're called to reach. So do we have any other questions before I go into this last piece? Is this making sense? Is everybody getting something from this? I see some of y'all got video on. So tell me a little bit about what you guys are going to take back. It's still quite a few of you hanging on here. Tell me absolutely what you guys, that's great. Tell me what you guys are going to take back from today's class real quick. Just drop something in the chat. What are you taking back from this class that you're going to implement in your business? Work on your bio and your Instagram stories. Okay. Already added a call to action. Great. Updating your bio. Absolutely. So whenever we come to these pages, checking out Social Sprout. Social Sprout's great. And Social Sprout actually gives you, you've already started revamping your bio. Great. Focusing on building relationships. Great. Go in those comments, working on your bio theme, and start using hashtags. Great. So go into those, look at your competitors, look at people that are doing what you want to do, and look at some of the hashtags they're using. Nobody owns, you can't own a hashtag. You can't trademark a hashtag. You can't do any of that. So use some of these, if it's working, use some of these hashtags. Like I said, just make sure it's not too big. Call to action, ensuring yours is up to par and simply showing up. Absolutely. That is Sean, that's the game right there. Show up. I cannot, y'all, I promise you, show up. Oh my gosh. That right there. Like, that's what's going to make or break you. Show up for your people. Like, show up. I always tell myself when I feel myself slacking off, like I always say, Rachel, if you were the best in the world at what you do, would you be doing this right now? If you were the best in the world at what you do, what would you be doing right now? Certainly not just sitting here twiddling your thumbs and looking around. Okay. So working on those bios, how many times should we post a week to expand our brand? I don't know if it's quantity as much as it is quality. If you're talking about Instagram and even Facebook now, they have expanded their stories. When you don't get likes, comments, shares, keep posting because people see it. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can absolutely. People are seeing it. Thank you. Thank you to whoever said that. They are absolutely seeing it. And sometimes, like I said, it takes people a couple of times of seeing your stuff come through the feed before they choose to engage with it. So just because they didn't like it doesn't mean they didn't see it. Because the thing about it is that some of my highest performing posts, they didn't like the post, but they saved the post. I have one post, maybe like it's one of my Twitter quotes. And I'm going to get back to your question to Lisa in a moment. About how many times you should post. But one of my Twitter quotes, I think they liked it maybe like 450 times, but it was saved over 700 times. So it had more saves than it did likes. And that's what Instagram likes to see, is because what happens is when people are saving your posts, that means people are coming back to the platform. And that's the goal. They want you to create content that keeps people on the platform. So if people are saving your posts, that means that people are coming back to those posts and re-engaging with that particular piece of content. So again, if somebody likes it, a lot of times people just blindly like stuff. They ain't even read it. Sometimes I had to go back and ask the Lord to forgive me because I'm just liking stuff because I saw it come through and didn't even read the caption and it's something crazy, or didn't listen to the video and it's something crazy and I done liked it. And I'm like, Lord, I hope nobody saw that I like that. Let me hurry up and unlike this before I be out here in these internet streets getting dragged about these posts I'm liking. So this is the thing. Absolutely. That's perfect. Like, just because nobody likes it doesn't mean people doesn't see it. You will always see how many people actually see. And I can show you real quick if I think about it when I pull my phone back up. So in regards to posting to build your brand, I think if you're trying to build a brand, you need to make sure that you're doing those things. You have to make sure that how are you going to add value? Again, it's not posting just to post. How is this adding value? Before you post anything, how is this adding value? Is this inspiring my audience? Is this teaching my audience something that they didn't know? Or is this entertaining my audience in a way that they would enjoy and get some value out of, as far as just being entertained? But then also looking at those themes in regards to what are you actually going to post about? And I would say if you're going to do more than one, like I said, 3 to 4, then rotate those themes throughout your post. So don't let every post be about you, but weave in some posts, like I said, some teaching posts in between the posts, maybe about your life or what you did on the weekends, or maybe a book you're reading, or however I'm not sure what your business will be, but however you whatever is relevant to your audience, but weave those themes in between one another, so you don't just have all these random all these posts back to back to back about the same thing. But weave those stuff in there and be intentional. This is going to take you guys sitting down to say what content is going to add value. And again, even if nobody interacts with it at first, keep posting, keep putting stuff out there, and keep asking questions. Like I said, even in each of your posts, even in your individual posts, they need to have some sort of a call to action. They need to have some sort of a call to action. And let me just, as a matter of fact, let me just do this real quick. I'm about to share my screen with you all to show you what I mean. Okay, let me share this. Okay, so they need to have a call to action. Let me see. Let me find exactly what I mean. So how about this? Put this chat up here. Okay, so each post needs to have a call to action. let me see. So this post right here. See this question. So what lessons have failure taught you? Share it with us in the comments. This is a call to action. This is a call to action. It's at the bottom of the post. Now let me find you one that has it in the top of the post. Okay, so here's a call to action. Drop a emoji if you're an entrepreneur that's serious about business growth this year. So that's a call to action. That's actually a call to action that you can use. And so as you can see my text and stuff, the Unicode that I was telling you about. It's all right here. See how this is bold, and then there's some like I said, there are some different things in here. So yeah, those are call to actions in regards to that. So every post needs to have one somewhere in the post. So like this one right here, biz tips, save this post. Okay. So this is one that, you know, like I said, this is one that's a call to action. Save the post. I want you to save it. And lo and behold, people did save it. So you see 78 people ended up saving the post. Let me find that post. Let me show y'all one of my posts that I know. So here's one of my Twitter graphics. Look right here. By the way, you'll want to save this post. So people are, I'm giving them a call to action here in the comments. Save this post, okay? So that's a call to action. So look, y'all, look what happened on this. 518 people saved it, but only 481 people liked it. And this is my reach. So this post reached over almost 10,000 people. 10,000 people didn't like it or save it, but almost 10,000 people saw it. And 104 people visited my post, and 5 of them clicked on my website, okay? So my hashtags, this was from my hashtags, y'all, the good old trusty hashtags. 2,288 people saw it based on my hashtags, okay? So that's why you need to be using hashtags. Okay, let me answer these questions over here. How do you bold your text? So that I gave those 2 websites. Let me see if I can put those, and it's actually in the replay. So it's apps for life. So apps, the number 4, for life.com. Let me see if I can put it back up. What app is this? You're allowed to post from your computer. So you're talking about, Harry, are you asking about what this is that I'm showing you my phone on? This is called Reflector. It's called Reflector. It's the app that's called Reflector, and basically it's just mirroring my screen onto the computer, but it puts it inside of this iPhone because I'm reflecting my iPhone. So it's just a cute way to do it, but it's called Reflector. I got the websites. Awesome. Lisa, yes, I do face-to-face. I do one-on-ones. I don't do them as often anymore, but I do one-on-one courses. Yes, ma'am, I do. Okay, so let's try to do this real quick. So if you don't have 10,000 followers, I got the word. Okay, great. If you don't have 10,000 followers and you want to try to get the swipe up feature, I'm going to see if I can actually do this real quick. Right, because we're running so far behind on time. But I'm going to see if I can do this real quick. And so you need to make sure you have an IGTV account before you do this. And so here's some videos on my IGTV account. But you need to make sure you have an IGTV account. Let me like that post. See what I'm talking about, y'all? Let me find out. Oh, yeah, IGTV. So you need to make sure you have an IGTV account when you do this. But then what you also need to do is maybe you're wanting to drive traffic to certain external links, and you don't have and you don't have that swipe up feature, but maybe it'll help you to grow your audience in your story. So I'm talking about, if you're still with me, I'm talking about how to put a swipe up link in your IG story. In order to do that really, really easily, you have to have 10,000 followers or more. So if you don't have it, I'm going to show you a way, and I won't say it's a quick way, but it's an easier way to actually, it's a workaround, let me put it that way, to be able to do this. So real quick, let me see if I can do this from my phone. So you have to make sure you have an IGTV account. Then you need to create a video clip. So what I'm gonna do is find my camera here. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip it in, and I'm gonna create, oh, there we go. Then I'm gonna create a video. Let's see, let me see if I can flip it, if it's gonna flip. I think it's gonna flip this video, so let's see. Yeah, so you want to tell them, you want to create a video. Hey y'all, it's me, your girl Rachel, and I want to share with you some tips and tricks to make your business the best business ever. So what I want you to do is I want you to go up here and click on this link, and it will take you to my freebie that's going to tell you all about how to make your business the best year ever in 2020. Okay, so let me see if that's going to play. AirPlay. Oh, dang it. Yep, so hold on. Okay, yep. Okay, so it did it. All right, so it did it. So we have a video that is promoting this particular freebie that we have. Y'all, I'm gonna try to get through this. So it needs to be at least 15 seconds. So in order to do IGTV, it has to be at least 15 seconds. And so you saw me point up to the right. So I took my left hand and I pointed up to the top right hand of that screen. And I'm going to show you why I did that. And so I'm not going to actually create a template in what I'm going to do is just do a screenshot, and then we'll just write, what we'll do is write this on there. So we'll do something like that shows like maybe what we'll do is when we get inside the app to actually do it, I'll show you how to do it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to upload that video that I just created. We're going to upload that to IGTV, and then we're going to add a title. So we're going to go to IGTV, and well, let me see. And then we're going to add a video. Oh, why won't it let me add? Oh, so mine has to be, my video has to be at least a minute or longer. Okay, so maybe they changed it. Y'all, let me see. What is this? I don't know what this is. Let me see. So let me just use one of my videos that I used. And so we'll do this. And so in the title, you want to have something that says, that says click here to watch. And then maybe like a down arrow. Where's these arrows at? All right, we almost there. So click here to watch. And then you're going to add your link. So I'm just going to put a link to my website. RachelLProctor.com. And then I won't post a preview or any of that. I won't make it visible on Facebook since this is, but I'm going to post it. So it's actually on my IGTV page. So the video is there. And then we're going to, again, the link, I had to paste the link in the description. I made the title that said click here. So we're going to go to my IGTV and see, it says click here to watch, pointing down. And then if we did the video right, it would have had the video of me pointing up to the link. And it's going to take me then my link is actually active. See my link? Did you guys know that you could actually make a link active in IGTV? Because you know that Instagram doesn't really, it's not link friendly in posts, but you can actually make a link active in your IGTV. So see how I have clicked down here to watch and it shows my link? Everybody seeing that? Is everybody seeing it? Hit me up if you're seeing it. Yes, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our story. We're going to go to our Instagram story, and then we're going to, what we'll do, I'll just screenshot. I'm going to do a black screen and just actually take a picture. So the screen is black. And then we'll do something like swipe up to watch. Okay. And then in this link, mine has a web link because of course I have over 10,000 followers, but yours will not. But it will give you the option to do an IGTV video. And so you should see your video here where it says click to watch. Done. And then that call to action is on there. And then so you'll see something like I said, we'll post this to, I'm not going to post this to my Facebook. I'm just going to share it here on my story. And then so where I'm going to show you is here, I'm going to go to my other page, Morsels and Mentorship, and it's going to show me that, hey, Rachel has a new story, right? So now I'm going to watch it. I'm watching this from my Morsels and Mentorship page, so I can go in and show y'all what it looks like. So now I'm clicking on here. Let me go through my other stories and find this particular story. So see how it says watch video at the bottom? It's going to show you. And then now, if it did it right, this should have been the video of me pointing up, telling them to click the link. And it's going to give them a link. So I wish I could have did it better with the video, but do you guys see how did that make sense? You guys think you guys can duplicate that? Talk back to me, y'all. Okay. Okay, so that is basically how you get the swipe up feature. Of course, it's considerably more than just clicking the link. But it gives you the ability to be able to give them a link in your Instagram